Hi, Brian.
Yeah!
What was it we were talking about again?
Talk about Google I.O.
Google Leo?
No, Google I.O. An Android.
Google I.O.?
Yeah.
I don't care how you spell it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4.
Three.
Three?
Three.
Three. Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the two-parter we had on the Apple.
Right, on the Apple one, yes.
On the Apple one we did for Apple Day that was actually uploaded a lot later than it should be.
Yeah, and it was a two-parter, so whatever. Welcome to episode 3 of Tech Talk with Wingman and Vandal. I'm Vandal.
And I'm Wingman.
Yeah. And today we are talking about Google I.O.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Man.
Big stuff.
For those that don't know, Google I.O. is a 2-day event that Google puts on the West Coast, the old Golden Coast.
Yes.
And it happened the 26th and the 27th of June.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Trying to keep track of a little more.
Sunday between Tuesday and Friday. And Google I.O. is where they showcase everything that is to come in the world of Google within the next year. It's similar to our last post where we talked about Apple and what they were doing with their products. Google I.O. is very much the same concept.
This part, though, is a little different.
Yes.
It is more developer-based overall.
Yes.
But there's still a lot of fun stuff that us as consumers can understand and try and look at and see what's coming.
Right.
Ahead of us.
Right.
So,
We could sit here and bore you with all of the developer jargon and nonsense, but we'd fall asleep. I'd fall asleep trying to explain it all.
I fell asleep and I watched it.
Yeah. It gets kind of crazy. So we'll just leave things on the consumer end. Right out of the floodgates, when you think of Google, you usually think of Android.
Yes.
And Android L.
Yes.
Or
we don't know what the number is.
It's Android 5 or Android 4.5. We don't know, but they're calling it Android L because Android has been it's been associated with some kind of sweet treat.
Yes,
So,
any common candy or sweet treat that someone can relate to.
Right.
So it's great stuff to have as far as a software, I should say.
Right.
And we're going to at least touch on the L developer preview. We might do some hands-on later.
Right. Yeah.
I got to get the phone working to it, so because this man's lazy and hasn't gotten to it.
Yeah, but next week or sometime this week, Wingman over here should have the hands-on preview for Android L on his Nexus 5.
One of the biggest things, though, that the L developer preview, and I say developer because it is not fully done yet, for the record. There is a lot of things that aren't put into it yet that they still need to add in.
And a whole lot of bugs.
Yeah, well...
It's not perfect.
Bug fix, shall I
Right,
say.
yeah.
Bug fix. There's always bugs in developer previews. But anyways, one of the biggest things that we like, I mean, I like it. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Is material design.
Yeah, I mean, the look of this thing is absolutely beautiful. It's got to be the biggest... I've heard a couple of people say the same thing that I said once I first started to see the images of it, is that it's got to be the biggest appearance-based overhaul of Android since Ice Cream Sandwich.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ice Cream Sandwich was a big overhaul, but, I mean, this takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah. The icons are thinner. They're flatter.
You have colors.
You have colors.
Biggest one, you have colors.
A lot of crazy colors.
A lot of good colors, though.
Yeah. They're not too harsh. They're not too bright. They're not too sharp.
Well, they're custom tailored too. So, like, say a developer has a specific color that they want to use,
right? They
can use that as well. On top of that, I mean, obviously, what's being viewed is just what they've made, I should say, but it's still really gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful user interface. Looks very similar to KitKat.
Yes, very similar,
but
less blue.
Less blue.
Less white, I should say.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I believe they made it very neutral then, so everybody else could design it.
Right.
And so now it's a lot better.
Right. It's pretty. It's
gorgeous.
It's flat. It's everything.
It's not flat. It's really
not.
I mean,
no, there are a lot of layers to it, but the layers themselves are kind of flat. One of the coolest things that I liked about the design and the interface of the operating system is the responsive feedback when you touch the screen.
Oh yeah, just how quick it would snap something up for you.
Yeah. There's literally an animation for everything you do on the screen.
Yeah, there was the publisher, actually, one of the design leads, I should say. He brought it up as not in digital world, everything's flat.
Yeah.
And they don't want it to be flat.
No.
So in this one, the biggest thing they did, besides the fact of great animations, is that everything, like you said, it's layered. There's actually a height elevation now, too.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of seems like there's a layer, but obviously we're not going to see that.
Right.
But all, like you said, all the transitions, it looks like they belong there.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks a lot better in the fact that, like, say you would, the biggest common one I know, say you push the dialer will pop up.
Yeah.
And it'll flow up like it didn't just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah, that animation is cool. The whole coming out from a different part of the screen, because I mean, as everybody knows, the old animation was it would essentially start in the middle of the screen and populate itself out towards you, which that was cool in a depth perception way.
Yeah,
But
it'd be the whole screen too.
Yeah.
That would do that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be you touch it and then the whole thing would pop up. It's now you touch it and, shall I say, for lack of better words, it transforms.
Yes.
And shows that it's coming out instead of the whole thing is the first part's there, the dialer goes up and it would pop up.
yeah,
But now it transforms up, which I love it so much.
yeah, it's really cool.
And there's also touch feedback.
Touch feedback, yeah.
when you would touch that dialer, it would show a little animation, like letting you know is a visual, a pleasing visual.
Yeah.
To be able to show that it's actually, hey, I actually did touch that.
Right.
That's the one I wanted to.
One of the biggest changes that comes with Android L, whatever they're going to call it, is, I mean, obviously, the massive paradigm shift for Android. We were all used to Dalvik and using Dalvik as a compiler. Now,
Being able to do the background information. There's obviously people won't really know this, but kind of like in a computer sense, it's like this. It's all the background stuff that you don't see, all the synchronizations, all the code that gets compiled in that time and process to be able to produce what is that animation or even that gesture you do. But as you were saying, the performance now is
it's crazy.
oh
Google has switched from Dalvik to A.R.T. 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 stands for Android Runtime, and it's mostly used to replace Dalvik, and that Dalvik was created for, or not created, but used for single core processors.
yes, and they didn't see that technological jump happen so quick.
So
with
quickly, yeah.
dual core processors,
Quad cores,
8
octa cores, yeah.
An 8 core, that's ridiculous. But anyways,
It's beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean, there's still the latency that's going to be there for the processors with all the cores. There's always going to be latency between the cores. But what Android Runtime does is it simplifies the process and it allows the cores to speak to each other in a more clear way. I can't really
parallel would be the term you're probably thinking around.
I can't really describe that too well. But what essentially what it does is it compiles the information a lot more efficiently for multiple core devices. And as technology is advancing forward, smartphones are becoming more and more often it's becoming more often that they have multiple cores.
And they're more diverse as styles because Android, well, the popular brand or company that everybody knows is Snapdragon,
Right.
one synonymous with it. Samsung has an Exynos processor as well, but what they also did is they made it so it works on ARM processors, Snapdragon,
x86,
Exynos, x86, Exynos would be Samsung's, but anyway,
Right.
And another one that I'm really not sure on, which is called MIPS.
MIPS?
I don't know.
I've never heard of that.
It may be something that's could be high end stuff. I don't know. I really don't. But as far as I know, they expanded it so that it's for the future. So
Right.
it's better.
Right.
And it was completely redesigned from the ground up.
All right, and take it from me, take it from us, messing around with his Nexus 5 and messing around with the L preview, you can tell the difference in performance between, say for instance, my HTC One M7 and his Nexus 5 doing the exact same things on screen. The animations, the fluidity of everything was very pretty.
Straight side-by-side comparison of it is gorgeous.
Along with all the innovations to the CPU performance.
Can't forget the GPU.
Can't forget the GPU
No.
and what they're doing with that. I like that they're going a little more in depth with how far they can push a GPU on a mobile device, because I mean there is a huge ceiling there.
There's been a huge innovation. Like, go 5 years back.
Right.
What'd your phone look like 5 years back?
Yeah, it's atrocious. Let's talk about the G1. We need to have a whole day where we talk about the G1. I love the G1.
I gotta find a G1.
Yeah. Good luck trying to find one.
No, they still have them.
Do they?
eBay and all that stuff,
Yeah,
whatever.
eBay.
But
Right.
not new. I mean, they stopped that years ago. But anyways,
Right. Yeah. No. Back then, I mean, you were lucky to be able to play a simple game on your phone, and now,
it's like we had Pong, and then we had Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare.
right, and companies like Nvidia, doing what they're doing with their checker processors. That's
I believe what's the latest one? I think it's a K1.
Yeah.
Is their like next best thing? I should say.
right, and I mean these GPUs are actually starting to stand toe to toe with desktop GPUs.
It's scary and bad and really awesome all in one.
Yeah, right. And I mean, now we're talking about a mobile device that is going to be able to render images that rival a desktop.
And you have phones with a lot of phones, I should say, with 1080p displays, and
Right.
now 2K displays and 4K
Right.
displays are pushing on phones. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of pixel density because the demo that they have of that showing all that tessellation, basically it's GPU terms for anyone who doesn't know, and shading to show all proper shading
And real depth.
real depth,
Real
yes.
depth.
And I should say just generally quality of
Right.
it feels like a tenfold moment.
Yeah.
Well, now that we talked a little bit about the dev preview, with material design, there was form factors in different sizes, and one nice factor now is it's going to be put into watches,
Yeah.
smartwatches, I should say.
Right.
Ooh, kind of scary a little bit.
Little bit.
I mean, we had the Samsung watches, the Galaxy brand watches.
Right.
They were cool, but now it's Google's version.
Right.
It's not Samsung's version, I should say, which is the best example I can think of off the top of my head.
Right. There weren't really very many other smart watches that really were relevant enough to compete with the Gear.
Well, actually, the computer was Pebble. Well, before the
Ah,
Gear,
that's right. Yeah, Pebble.
the computer was Pebble.
Right.
That was the one to beat. Gear did with the color screen.
Right.
That was about the axe into it. But now you have Google bringing in Android L version onto
A
a
watch.
smartwatch that is
Probably
a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
Well, overall size the same, but maybe a little thicker.
Right. And I like the integration that the watch brings with your phone.
Well, it's exactly what they said in the keynote, too. It's an extension of your phone. It's not supposed to be a phone.
Yeah, it's not its own standalone device. We're not talking
No.
Power Rangers here. You're not going to be able to do everything off of your phone. But it does have a built-in microphone.
Yes.
It does have a high-quality display.
Yes, there's a couple with some little ones and then other ones that have a higher display, I should say.
Right.
But they're all relatively the same to me because it's all the same graphic design.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a touchscreen display at that.
Yeah.
So you can interact directly with your watch. So say Wingman over here texts me. He shoots me a text message, and I have on my Moto 360, because I'm going to go ahead and right out the gate endorse that watch. The Moto 360
Yes.
is gorgeous.
Well, it's a lot better than, well, the two that came out are good, don't get me wrong.
Right.
The LG G Watch
Is amazing.
and the Samsung Gear Live.
Yeah.
They're good.
They're
they
amazing.
really are.
But the Moto 360 just looks so sexy. It looks so pretty. It is sleek. It's got that leather band around it. The nice round face.
I'm going to go back in the 90s. Round.
Round. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful looking watch. But, say he shoots me a text message and I'm driving my car. So it's not really safe or smart to dig into my pocket, to grab my phone,
Yep.
to try and see what it was he said, and to potentially text back. Now, with what they're doing with L and how they're integrating into into the smartwatches, if I'm driving my car and he shoots me a text message or he shoots me a message on Hangouts, I can a notification
It's
will pop up
glanceable.
onto my watch. It's glanceable, quickly interactive.
Here's the weird part, though, too. It's going to vibrate your wrist.
That's gonna be weird.
That's going to be weird.
Right.
Buzz on the wrist
Yeah.
there. Ugh.
You feel that. But I mean, he sends me the message. I look real quick. It's on my watch. And I made the joke about the Power Rangers. But I mean, it's literally like the watch from the Power Rangers. The message comes
Yeah.
in. I can reply right on the screen without barely taking my eyes off of the road.
With your voice,
and
even.
with my voice, talk into the watch. And it will,
It'll show you the message.
it'll show
Yeah.
you the message. And it will work with your phone to send the message to whatever recipient you want.
All without taking it out, the phone, I should say, out of your pocket. It's right here
Right
on
there.
your wrist. It's glanceable. It's quick. Even at work, even
Right.
though that's going to be very bad.
Right.
You get a message at work. you're walking down the hallway or something. You check it like this. You tap. Hey, I'll call you back or something like that on my break. I'm at work. Right. Send. You're done.
And that's it. I also think one of the other coolest integrations with it is Maps.
Oh, yes. Maps navigation.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's built-in pedometer with that. Your phone already takes count of how many steps you take.
That's what it works off of, actually.
Yeah, and I think it being on the watch will be a little more accurate. It having a heart rate monitor. A lot of them will have heart rate monitors on them.
The Gear Live has a heart rate monitor for the record. The G Watch does not, and from the looks of it, the 360
will.
No? It doesn't look like it.
I could swear that the design of it looked like you could fit one on the back.
You probably could, but mind you, even though I watched way too much stuff more than I should, they applied for Qi wireless charging on the phone, on the watch, the phone. So it's like, can they put a heart rate monitor on there while it has inductive charging on the back of it, or not? From the looks of it, because some people started flipping it around, and I think it was MKBHD made the thing on it too, is that you could look at it at first, but then they made it so that they don't want it off the wrist and looking at the back of it. I was like, why do you want to do that?
Right.
So it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
This subject actually is on an unrelated note because my cohort Vandal had something to do, but I don't know where he is. Anyways, I'm going to talk to you real quick about Android TV. It's actually a reboot back from a few years ago, and in essence, they stripped it, I should say, and they redid the whole thing, not from the ground up, but they tweaked a lot of stuff. They made it more simpler. They made it more pleasing with material design that came in Android L. And also the fun fact of it is, too, is that the Razer brand, if some people don't know about Razer, they actually produce a lot of aftermarket keyboards and gaming mouses for gaming on desktops. And so they're going to come out with a set-top box of that. And also there's a few major companies that are going to be producing Android-based TVs. So instead of having LG have its own weird interface and Samsung having its own weird interface, it's going to actually be run on Android.
Big old stupid peak. Stupid peak. Huge spike in the reading, sir. Huge spike. Stupid peak. I'm Wingman. I'm Vandal. Start that over. Stupid peak. Stupid peak. I'm stupid. Stupid peak.